Good day everyone, my name is Michael Angelo Dito Mala, and in this video, we will be talking about our prelim project in ITEW2. I will be giving a brief discussion about our design of our program. We had a simple design with 6 buttons with individual functions and text fields as well as paragraphs to represent our output.
Hello everyone. My name is Rene Vitwasan Jr., stud ID 2100438, and we'll discuss what's the function of the text field in the project we've made. The text field, the field text field, we've named it number, and the maximum length is 12, which means if you put digits, values, or whatever you want to call it in the text field, it will not be inputted or displayed in the text field since the maximum length is 12. On key press to return. Before that, before we proceed, is what is on key press? The on key press event occurs when the user presses a key on the keyboard. Okay, and our on key press is equal to return, which means it will return the value. What is event char code? The char code property returns the character code when an event keyboard occurs. This text field is an important part of code since the value you will input in the text field will be a variable to every function of the project or program. If you miscode it in other functions, that will end up an error definitely. For example, is if the text field number is called and just named num, it will not be printed and nothing will happen on the program. That's all.
So my name is Lamay Grande and I will discuss to you or explain to you the function of count all digits number. So the first code in here is let num equals number dot value dot length plus 1. So this code is to uh, convert all string into a number or convert all the value that we input in our text box to a number. So the other code is output that inner HTML equals to number. So the output here is the object, and the inner HTML is the property is uh, to look the inner the property to look the property of the inner the open and closing tag or the open and closing tag paragraph. So equals number, this is to help to convert all the property that we input uh, in our text box to a number, or this is the output of the 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 number that we input in our text box. Thank you.
My name is John Marliaga and we're going to explain the simple validation added in our code. This if statement attached in almost every function prevents the user from leaving the above text field blank. It executes when the length of entered input is 0, or in short, the input is entered. It will call an alert message that shows please enter a value and the purpose of the function won't be performed. This feature is not in clear button as it doesn't affect the answer in the result box below.
Hi, my name is John Loresto. Today I will discuss about most accurate. This is a JavaScript function that takes input from the user and find the digit with the highest number of occurrence. Here's how the code works. Let num equal number dot value semicolon. This line assigns the value of the number input element to the variable called num. This value will be used to account the frequency of each digit. Next, let highest equal number bracket num dot char bracket 0 semicolon. This line initializes a variable called highest with the first character in a num converted to a number. This is a default value for the most occurring digit. Next, let highest occurred equal 0, semicolon. This line initialize a variable called highest occurred to 0. This will be keep a track of how many times the most occurring digit appear. If, next, if bracket number that value that length is equal to 0, curly braces, alert, bracket, double quotes, please enter a value and exclamation mark. This line check if a number entered the value in the number input element if is empty. The code display an alert asking the user to enter a value. For next, for bracket, let I equal 0, semicolon, I less than equal 9, semicolon, I plus, curly braces, dot. This line start a loop that entire through the digit 0 to 9 inclusive. Thank you.
Greetings, I am Noel John Pepito here to continue explaining the most occurring function. After the first for loop, we declare the variable occurred is equal to 0. This variable keeps track of how many times the current digit, the digit being looped over, occurs in the num string. Next, we create another for loop that iterates over the num string. Inside this loop, using the char@at method, we extract a character from the num string and store it in the digit variable. After that, we have an if condition where it compares the extracted character with I, the current digit that is being looped over in the first for loop. If they are the same, the occurred variable is incremented. Next, we have another if condition. This compares the number of times the current digit appeared, which is the occurred variable, with the highest number of times the previous digit has appeared, the highest occurred variable. If the current digit appeared higher than the previous one, it becomes the new most occurring digit and its frequency is stored in the highest occurred variable. Lastly is the line output.inner HTML. This sets the text in p tag that displays a line of text including the most occurring digit and the frequency of its appearance. And that is everything for the most occurring function.
Hi, I'm Oliver Adi Marquap, and I'm going to explain the button for count even digits. The first thing we should do is to create a onClick event to the button, then create a function to it. In that function, we declare a variable num and count that will hold the value, then we create a for loop to iterate the variable num. Then we declare a variable name digit to hold the value. Then create a if condition if the variable digit is divisible by 2 and equal to 0. If the condition is true, then the variable count will increment and display the value of the variable count to the output, which is our p tag or paragraph tag. We simply call the variable which is output followed by function.inner HTML to display how many even number. And that's all for the count all even digits button.
Hello, I am Joshua Ramos, student number 2100605. And as for the functionality that will allow the HTML page to figure out how many times an odd digit has occurred, the function count odd digits is responsible for this. So first of all, a local variable is made and is used to store the value of the user input from the text field on the page. After which, a local variable count is used to keep track of how many times an odd digit has occurred within user input. So using a for loop, the script will iterate through the user input and validate whether it is an odd digit or an even digit. So the for loop starts at 0, car equals 0, and as long as car is less than or equal to the length of the numbers, which is figured out using the numbers dot length, the program will continue to iterate until the end is reached, after which the uh, variable car is incremented. As for the inside of the for loop itself, a local variable is used to retrieve and store the value of the corresponding placement of the for loop. So for example, where car is equals to 1, the script will retrieve the second digit from the user input using the car at method, and is then converted into an integer using the numbers method. After which, an if condition is used to validate whether it is an odd or even digit, where if the digit is modulo 2 and it is equal to 1, meaning that it is odd, the count is incremented. And this process will continue to run until the end of the input is reached. After which, the paragraph for displaying the output is updated to reflect the count of the odd digits within the user input.
So, good day everyone. My name is Bench Degollado and I'm here to discuss the function called find a digit. So first, it gets the value of an input field with an ID of a number and assign it to the num variable. It prompts the user to enter a digit they want to find and assign it to the digit variable. Next, it initializes an empty string variable called message. It starts a for loop that iterates through each character in the num string. For each character in the num string, it gets the character at the current index, convert it to the number, and assign it to the char@at variable. It checks if the char@at value is equal to the digit value. If it is, it sets the message variable to a string that says that the digit has been found. After the loop complete, it checks if the message variable is not empty. If it's not, it displays the message in an output field with an ID of an output, and if it is empty, it displays a message saying that the digit is missing. So essentially, this code takes a user input number and a digit to find in the number and then search it for the digit by iterating over each character of the number, and it finds the digit. It sets the message to indicate that the digit has been fully found. And finally, it displays the message to the user on the web page.
The remove command deletes the p element with the ID of output and the input field in order to delete the text field which is removable. So in this case, the output was changed to be null.